Hello everyone, how you all doing today? I hope your day is wonderful. Welcome to another edition of the Chi Naija Sewing Space, where you and I learn to unstyle the wardrobe of our dreams. Okay, this video, this sewing tutorial, ladies and gentlemen, this sew along, I'm rambling, I know, is quite risque. For me at least. I don't know about you guys. I made a pair of sleeping shorts, and it's not just that, it has like a wrap detail to it on the side seam, on the outer side seam, because if you're making sleeping shorts, why not go extra? And I also like to say that these don't have to be sleeping shorts, because I've seen some tennis stars wear shorts like this to play tennis with. You can also make it into a sportswear. The sewing and the pattern drafting is the same, which we have on the channel. And just remember that at the end of the video, I will be modeling it for you guys. So there is that to look forward to. Alright guys. Without further ado, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. I hope you enjoyed the pattern drafting. Like, comment, subscribe, tag me on Instagram if you do try out the tutorial, to let me know how it turns out, and I'll see you guys in the next talking hands here. So this is the first for us on the channel. We're making pants or shorts. These are going to be shorts, but yeah. So we will start with the front pattern, I think, and I'll just do the alterations and I'll show you guys. I don't know if you guys can see the lines. Let me fix that. So this is our crotch line and this is our hip line. Okay, now because I want the pants to be loose fitting, so I will take down this crotch line by 3/4 of an inch. This is totally up to you. You can do half an inch, you can do an inch, but I want 3/4. Okay, so that will now change the crotch line this way, the curve of the crotch. So I now want it to basically be something like this. Okay, now for where all the magic is happening, and of course we're going to have gathers at the waist, so this dart here will be cancelled. Now for the whole magic of the pattern. Okay, so basically because it's going to be a night thing, I want it to be loose fitting. So I have decided to do that by 3/4 of an inch. Okay, and when we get that measurement, we will draw it all the way up and straight down. Okay, so now we'll just cut out the new crotch depth and this part, so that you guys can get a clearer picture of what I'm talking about. And anyways, I am using a 4-inch inseam here. Okay, because this is not really to scale, this is just to explain to you guys. So this is a 4-inch inseam. All right, so you can see what we have here. Everything we have done here we will do to here as well. So now we have all the changes that we want to do so far done. I've just taped this down so that they don't move around when I'm trying to explain what I'm trying to explain. And I'm going to do this explanation first with a pencil, just so that we can get our lines before we mark it down. Now for that pattern that we want to make, you can see that there's clearly a cross to this side and to this side. Okay, Now there are a few things we need to consider. How high, where exactly the cross is going to happen on the side seam, okay? Because if it's too far up, then all your business is just going to be flapping in the wind. And if that's what you want, please do go for it, but that's not what I want here. So I have, first of all, I'm going to mark where I want the crossing over of the flaps to intersect, okay? And I told you guys I was doing a 4-inch inseam. So when I'm doing my actual pattern, I will mark 3-inch on the side seam here, but because this is not my actual pattern, we'll just pick this line here, okay? So this is the line or the spot where both flaps are going to cross over, okay? Then we will now decide where we want the flap to end up on this side, on either side, and we don't want it too in front per se, so just pick anywhere around here, like the 1/4 edge, like this dart position is a good place to end. So we know we want the flap to go like this, cross this intersection here, and end up here. We also want the same thing for the one at the back, to go like this, cross this intersection here, and end up somewhere on this dart here. So we will just draw that out. Hold on. Then for the flap going for the front to the back, let me just draw that in with the marker so that you guys can see. Okay, so these are the lines. All we need to do to get the back pattern is to sellotape. I know you can't see it, but we'll just sellotape this on and then draw, like look through and see where the line is. Let me assure you. So this will be the pattern for the back, okay? Let's label that extension. I'm drawing this whole line this way, okay? That's the extension for the back. We will now do the same thing for the front. Okay, it's exciting. So let's cut that out. So we have taped that in, and we will just now just take out this tape. Don't need it anymore. And we will just now trim the pattern, because remember, this is the extension. Now all hair has to go. Okay, so this is the pattern for the back. Okay, now we'll do the same thing to the front. So this is our pattern, okay? That's the back, this is the front. So when you would put it on, it will look like this, because this would have been sewn here and this would have been sewn that way. Okay, right, super happy we got. Okay guys, so a quick tip before I forget. Like I always say on the channel, anytime you cut anything on the bias, which is what we have cut here, you have to take off a little bit so that it doesn't spread out excessively. Okay, so we will come here and take off maybe just 1/2 inch or 3/4, whatever you feel. Okay, the more bias it is, the more you have to take off. So I will just take off maybe, let's say, ½ inch like that, and you do on the other side too. Take off like ½ inch. Then we would join that up, okay? Join it this way. Okay guys, this is what we have now. The next part I will show you guys, we would have cut it out in my size and we'll get to sewing. Okay, hey peeps, voila, this is my actual pattern all cut out. This is the back, as you can see right there, and this is the front. Now it's basically the same thing. I used a 1.5 inch allowance at the top because we're going to be fitting in an elastic, and right all around the sides here and around here I put 3/4 inch seam allowance because we're going to be doing French seams, but this one we're just going to fold twice and hem. But yeah, same thing for the front and for the back. There isn't much to it. And yeah, let us start sewing now, and it should be really quick, hopefully. All right guys, we are now into the sewing portion of the video. These pieces are the front leg and the back leg of our sleeping shorts, because if you know, your shorts are connected in the inner crotch seam, which is where we'll be sewing first. And yeah, we will sew that part down first, then we will do the same thing for the other leg and then sew it together at the crotch curve. Okay, we will then connect the front and the back crotch curve together. Okay, then at the waistline we would have put the front and the back flaps together and held everything down with a basting stitch. So then the second part is that we are doing French seams. Okay, and for French seams you kind of sew them the wrong way around. You sew them to the front first, then you flip them over, iron them, and sew them on the inside. Now for these French seams I have done a 3/4 inch allowance. So how I would do that is I would sew a 1/2 inch, cut that down, then sew a 1/4 inch. Okay, all right, let's start. So now that I have sewn the seam, I will trim it down to less than a 1/4 inch because that's what I'm going to be sewing up. Okay, let's see how small it is now. Then we will now turn it over and encase the seam by sewing a 1/4 inch on this side. Okay, now if you're going for haute couture looks, the thinner, super duper thinner you can get this seam here, the more haute couture it is. Most people just sew a big old thing, but I think sewing a 1/4 inch is fine. It's small enough. So I would just go iron it because it's very nice to iron it so that it lays down flat while you sew, so you don't end up sewing more fabric than is necessary. Okay, all right, I'll go iron and be back. So I have pressed the seam to the outsides, or rather the insides, and now I'm just going to sew to enclose the raw edge that we have cut over there. So here is how it looks on the outside, right? But on the insides, it's a clean seam. Everything is encased. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you make a French seam. Now just do everything you've done here to the other side as well, okay? Okay, the next thing we're going to do now is sew up the crotch curve. Okay, so I've already pinned up this side, right? And all we did was, like, for this inseam, for this side we are putting wrong sides together first. As you can see, this side is less shiny, is the wrong side, and the seam here will be they'll be butting against each other, right? So we will just pin this off and do what we did with the inseam portion. So I haven't finished sewing up, but I just pinned it up so that you guys can see what it looks like. So I pinned up the top parts, and this is how the sides is going to look. Okay, I hope you guys are enjoying the tutorial so far. I'm going to go on ahead and sew up the hem, so that when we stitch up the waistband, it would have already been finished. Okay, that's about it, guys. Okay guys, we are at the waistband now, and I just ironed at the 1.5 inch mark so that it's easy for me to fold over and just fold in the extra 1/2 inch that I need to sew. And we are just creating a tunnel for our elastic. Now, while we are sewing this part, we have to leave enough space so that when it is time, we can insert our elastic. And I'm just going to stitch up to a certain point and back stitch so that everything is held in place. Now, this is my bodkin that I am going to use to thread the elastic through, and I have ironed everything all nice and neat. So I'm sure you guys, that's the space again, I'm sure you guys know how to thread an elastic through a hole, and just tighten the bodkin as good as you can. And this tool is a very, very important tool if you're going to be sewing. I love it so much. So yeah, just putting the elastic through there, and I'll see you guys in the next bit where I'm trying on the sleeping shorts. Okay, all right then. Okay guys, these are the shorts, and I love them so much. They fit so nice. That is the side look. And you remember when I said risque? Well, if you're okay with it, I think that's fine. If I was making these shorts again though, I would make the flap like the crossover deeper, so it went further in, almost to the center of the shorts. Anyways guys, I hope you like the tutorial. Like, comment, subscribe. I really enjoyed making it. I hope you guys come back for more. Check out other great content we have on the channel. See you later. Peace.